that's my me time, you know. So it was very important to me that we had space that was a safe space for each of us.
Yeah, there was a video we saw where it was just like, my husband loves games, I love books. It's so easy because it's just like, hey, I want to just play games by myself. It's like, say less.
Yeah.
I got some books
I'm gonna go read. Like,
I'm gonna go read. Welcome back to some more of VIII Lacrimosa of Donna. It is a dark time in Eternia. We are trying to figure out what the hell just happened.
yeah.
Alrighty. So yeah, we're just gonna run around here and figure out what was the source of the fog and what's going on.
Yeah. This part was quite sad.
Yeah. Oh, figures the ants would live. You get out of here. I'm also practicing more with Lumina, I believe her name is. Lumina? The light form.
Okay.
I'm getting more familiar
she's-
with the controls of that.
She's still Donna. It's just her costume.
Just faster.
Yeah.
Well, regular Donna is very like floaty and like nice to control.
Yeah. This one
Gradica
is
is
she's
heavy and slow. And Lumina is kind of like racing on 200cc in Mario Kart, where it's just like, hold it, wait, I want to turn.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you go a little too fast. You just wait, hold it, wait a minute, slow down, hit the brakes, try that again.
I think costume-wise, the green one is my favorite.
The green, okay. I like classic Donna. Although I do like the little like earpieces of Lumina. That's a nice little touch.
Yeah.
Of her headband. Very nice touch. Alrighty. Squash the bug.
We need one of those whenever stink bug season comes in.
And when it arrives, I'll smash it with a hammer.
It's brilliant, 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 I tell you. Genius, I say. Or, to save on postage, I'll just poison him with this.
I love that it's only to save on postage.
To save on postage. That's the only reason we changed basically the entire plot.
Dun dun dun.
Oh. His daughter went missing. Mother's sick. Daughter's missing. Oh, things just go from bad to worse.
I don't know if it... Well, I'm assuming it's probably bad. But, like, if the world was ending, I wouldn't want to try to, like, work my way through it.
Oh, really?
Like, it'd be one thing if it was just, like, okay, survive, being resourceful, like, take back to almost, like, old time. That I would try, but if it was, like, a zombie apocalypse, I don't know. Like, please
You just kind of accept it?
put me out of my misery. Like, I don't...
Aw.
I would not want to try... Not only to survive it, but to, like, watch everyone you love and care about eventually die.
Well, I mean, couldn't you make the argument that to them, one, they just think it's affecting the city, so it's just like, well, we're gonna have to leave the city. But two, wouldn't it just be like a pandemic to them? It's like, well, we gotta hoard up on the toilet paper and get going. Them Saurians have big messy shits. Like, maybe, like, do they have the knowledge that, like, the world as they know it is coming to an end?
I mean, that's what the vision was.
That's what Donna's vision was, but she hasn't
Said
fully,
it, yeah.
yeah, let people on of like what all's happening. All they know is like some giant fireballs fell from the sky,
Yeah.
shattered the barrier, and now like they're slowly going out.
Again, I guess that just shows a lot about, like, my self-preservation. I'd be like, well, time to die.
Well, this is the end. No, we can.
Like, no, this is it. This is where it stops.
That's sad.
Well, I think about, like, that was a big thing that I, like, thought about whenever The Walking Dead was a thing before it turned into a crap show. Is, like, did you watch season 1 of The Walking Dead?
I think season 1 was the only season I watched, just because I was so tired of the zombie apocalypse thing. It's one of the reasons why I haven't finished The Last of Us. I'm like, not my dig.
Yeah.
That and, like, it has a hell of an opening, and, like, I'm the odd man out here. I'm not a fan of, like, games that try to replicate movies, number one. I think games and movies, like, this is just my personal taste. I go to them for different reasons.
Yeah.
I watch a movie for a different reason than I play a video game.
Right.
And when they bleed into each other, mostly games bleeding into movies, because movies can't really bleed into games. You're never going to play a movie.
Yeah.
They try, like, little interactive DVDs, but that's beside the point. The point is, when they try to, like, replicate movies, I'm just like, I feel better if I just watch this. 'Cause,
Yeah.
like, the gameplay is suffering a lot because I'm just kind of, like, walking to the next cutscene.
Yeah. Yeah.
And in the case of The Last of Us, the apocalypse hits right at the start.
Yeah.
And, like, it's drastic, and you're like, move, things are happening fast. And then there's the cooldown. And I swear to God, it's just a lot of walking around and building character and stuff, and I'm just like, progress the fucking story.
Yeah.
Or let me do something other than find a ladder so I can get up to the second floor. Just something.
Right.
Like, it has the most mind-numbing puzzles or obstacles I've ever experienced. It's just like, oh, that's a ledge. I can't reach the ledge. I'm gonna grab a ladder. Well, the character can't run fast with the ladder, so it's just...
Yeah.
And they use that time to just have the characters gabble, because all you're really doing is pushing forward.
Right.
And it happens a lot in newer games where you're just walking forward and they're talking. Well,
I think because the visuals are so spectacular.
Yeah.
That's all that they focused on.
Yes. That's what I think, at least. And a lot of people are just like, no, it's the best game ever made.
I mean, the show seems fun, but I just love Pedro Pascal.
The show is kind of like reiterates my point. I'm just like, oh, the show's really good. Better than the game.
Yeah.
Because this idea works better as a show
yeah.
than a
as
video
just
game.
Watching it.
Yeah, it's better to watch than it is to play. And, like, that's fine if you're in it. Like, if you're really immersed in the characters and the story and you don't care that the gameplay is just kind of like, that's cool. But, like, to dial it back a bit, at the end of the day, it's still not my genre.
Yeah.
I don't much care for zombie apocalypse unless they're, like, very hokey, like Zombieland or Resident Evil. Like, if they treat it, like, seriously, I'm just like, yeah, this is Children of Men, or The Walking Dead, or World War Z, or all of them. Like, there's so many. 28 Days Later. And I know the counter-argument, it's not zombies, it's a virus. They still act like zombies.
I mean, what's the difference? Like...
So zombies, like, rise from the dead. This virus just infects people and it spreads, and then people become, like, these zombie-like beings. But for me, there is no difference. Alright, time to stop shitting on one of the most popular games of all time, because that's never going to end well. And instead, let's fight a Sahagin-looking motherfucker.
See, people are saying it's one of the greatest games of all time, but I didn't even hear about it until the show came out.
Really?
Yeah.
I couldn't get people to shut up about it for, like... Because it came out, I want to say, 2016 or, like, 2019. And people loved it so much that, like, there's so much divisiveness with the sequel. Because, like, lightning can't strike twice, number one. And two, they just do a lot of, like, questionable choices where I'm just like, yeah, you're either for it or against it.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to spoil too much, but just, like...
I mean, you say that like I'm going to play it.
They kill the main character of the first story. I know. I mean, I just did the little, like...
My like, little finger twirl.
Finger twirl. But, oh, it's a big deal for that community. And, like, I get it if, like... If there was a new Zelda, or let's just go stick with Ys. If they killed Adol to make a character, like their lead character, I'd be a little like, especially if like that character that taking over is the killer?
I think it depends on the franchise. So it's like for Ys, so if after like Adol's first appearance in a game and you play as him and he dies at the end and then the next game is the new character, you're less upset about it because it was in the beginning. You didn't establish the relationship.
Okay.
Whereas if it was like now, I'm playing Ys 9, if they like kill off Adol at the end of Ys 9 and they're like 10 is going to be someone different, I would be like, why? Why not just make a new game or like a spin-off? Why do you have to kill him off?
Well, I think what soured most people was it was a bait and switch. So like they saw him in the sequel. They saw him kind of like passing the torch. And then like his killer just came out of fucking nowhere. And then you start playing as the killer. But again, like I've never played the game, so I don't know.
I don't know. I think that like that's not a terrible storytelling device. I just think
it needs to be executed properly.
Yeah, it depends on how it's done. Because it is very much passing the torch, just like that's what Ghostbusters is doing. They went from minus the all-girl cast of Ghostbusters.
Speaking of
we don't
which,
talk about that.
Did you know there was a new Ghostbusters movie that just came out today?
Yeah, that's why I'm bringing it up. Is like they've passed the torch.
I forgot about that thing.
From old Ghostbusters to like the new generation of Ghostbusters. So I don't think that it would be as like detrimental to the franchise because of how they did it.
Okay.
Whereas if it was like still the 1980s Ghostbusters doing great and then they just like boom new cast, like people would be like, no, I reject this idea.
Yeah.
But like I don't think there's anything wrong with like passing the torch.
I don't think so either.
I also don't think there's anything wrong with killing off the main character.
Okay.
I think that the execution
Is crucial.
is what's important. not that like, oh my god, you killed the main character. Yeah. Lots of famous stories the main character dies.
Yeah.
But I think it's how you go about doing it.
I can agree with that. Well, it's very divisive on like how they handled it. So it's just like wham wham.
Yeah. But again, you said it was like the first game and then the second game you're playing as like the killer.
Yeah.
It's one game.
I know.
You know what I mean? Like you've had one experience with this main character and then the next one that main character is gone and you have a new main character.
So let's address another like aspect of the conversation because Last of Us chimes into this ongoing trend that I don't know why I feel indifferent towards, but allow me to explain. It's in The Mandalorian, it's in The Witcher, it's in the new God of War. I think it started in The Last of Us. And it's about this like lonely, depressed old guy
That finds a kid.
that finds a kid, yes. And they develop this bond and like everyone just eats it the fuck up. Like it is the best thing since sliced fucking bread.
Well, I mean, to dissect that a little bit, it could possibly be because because all of these characters, I with the exception of The Last of Us, because I've never seen it, I've never played it, I don't know the main character, but I'm just making an assumption based on all of the others
that's
here.
That's a game that you're gonna have to play because
I don't really have an interest in it. I'd rather just watch the show.
Okay.
But like the male main character is tough as nails. I don't have a relationship with anyone. I don't have feelings. I am a lone wolf. I am a loner. There's no one that can break that wall. The Mandalorian, The Witcher, Tony Stark.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one.
They're all like that is such a massive part of their character is that they are alone. And then you find another character, often a child, that breaks down that barrier. Mm-hmm. And you can see the emotional side of that blank wall that was closed.
Okay.
I think it's easier to do that with men because of how society views men as what they should be.
Fair enough.
You should be strong. You shouldn't have feelings. You should be able to, work hard and be by yourself and not need anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have kind of like this essence of innocence as a child that breaks that down.
Okay.
They have to care about someone else now because you're an asshole if you don't care about kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, think about it. They do that or on High School Host Club. It's
It's been a while since I've. I'm trying to.
I forget the exact verbiage, but it's like the cutesy item,
Okay.
and it's Honey Senpai. Is with Mari, Mori. Okay. Where he's like this big tough guy, and he's scary, and he's a loner, and he doesn't talk to anybody. But then you add the cute object, which in this case is Honey Senpai, and he becomes more approachable, more attractive to people, more just palatable
Okay.
for people. He himself did not change anything.
Uh-huh.
But you add a softness with that,
Uh-huh.
and all of a sudden it's more
Okay.
interesting.
Okay.
So I think that's why it's the dynamic of like the older man, because we have the expectation that they're a certain way,
Uh-huh.
and then a child.
Okay.
Because if you think about it, it's the child aspect is different in every case. Sometimes they're a girl, sometimes they're a boy.
Yes.
Sometimes they're very, very small. Sometimes they're a teenager. Sometimes they're not even fucking human. Grogu,
Yeah.
Like,
touche.
It doesn't necessarily matter what the innocent, cute object is.
Okay.
It's the interaction between that and the main male character.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it's like, I don't hate that. I don't.
Right.
I don't hate that. If anything, I think that is...
I don't hate it. It's just something I see everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm just like, and everyone just throws awards towards it. I'm just
Yeah.
like, whatever.
Well, it's the same as like, hero dad teaches son math after school. And it's like, you mean dad being a parent? It's the
See,
same...
I was just thinking of Incredibles too. Math is math.
Yeah. Well, it's like, it's the same concept. Like, hero tutor, or, yeah, John Mulaney does that. Like, hero tutor teaches kids after school, and it's like he's doing his job.
Ah, okay.
So it's like, you have kind of like that, yeah, we get it. But it, I think in a healthier way, helps men understand they can be vulnerable and they can have feelings and they can care about something in a way that's also just entertaining to watch.
So, I guess to bring it full circle, the reason there is so much divisiveness and animosity is because now that you establish that bond and you kill that character,
Yeah.
and people aren't okay with that. And again, I don't even know beyond that what the fuck the plot of the second one is.
I mean, I'm assuming that they kill the adult.
Bingo.
Yeah. Again, I haven't watched it. But it's also like...
What a twist.
I don't hate it. I don't hate that type of storytelling because that is what that essentially is supposed to do, is evoke an emotion. You're supposed to be angry.
Mm-hmm.
You spent time with that character. You got to see them develop from the loner to a caregiver, and the fact that they are now dead is upsetting.
Yeah.
As it should be. That's why they do it. To evoke an emotion. Like, how boring would it be if you didn't feel anything when playing or watching? Like, it's called entertainment.
Right.
It's supposed to have that emotion in it.
Gotcha. Okay.
Like, I don't know. That's something, like, as an aspiring writer myself, I strive to do in my writings, is like, how can I evoke this certain emotion? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm trying to remember, like, there was a video we watched about, like, writing correctly and writing incorrectly. Remember I sent that to you? It was about, like, make my character hateable, and he's like, huh?
Yeah.
It's like you kind of I don't
Well,
want to watch the video.
I don't think it's something that you can like accurately learn. You're either like good at it and you can develop to be amazing at it, or you just that's not your thing. Like, but you know, it's the same when you're making games and you're just like, I don't understand why Gale is like the lovable character when he doesn't really have a character, and it's like.
You know, now that I think about it, Aster and Gale are that
dynamic. It is a very common dynamic. It's not unheard of. It's just like right now, I think amidst all of the controversies going around in society, that's what people want to see. It's the same as like, we want to see an adult man be softened by something, but we want to see a hard-ass, badass woman that doesn't give a shit about anything that can be the superhero.
Okay.
So it's you know, the same breath.
I got you.
Is it overdone? Yeah.
It's just
like,
a trendy thing where I'm just
know.
like, boy, can't wait till the next thing.
Yeah.
But I'm always like that. I'm just like, ooh, this is new and different, neat.
Yeah, and then
like,
it's saturated, and you're like,
ruined.
and now I'm bored.
Oh, who's this?
It's Franz!
I believe he's one hell of a butler.
I was thinking of putting on Black Butler yesterday while I was waiting for you to come home.
That probably would have been smart. I'd have been like, ooh, it's been a while since I've seen this. Unlike the book, this is the second time she mentions the butler.
Oh my god.
Well, what's interesting is way early on, I'm not sure you remember, but she says, oh, one of my associates is lost and I'm finding him.
Yeah.
And Adol's like, so what about the associate? And she's like, I made that up so I could keep tabs on you.
Yeah.
But there actually was an associate.
But it's like Laxia throughout the whole thing has trust issues divulging information. You know, Adol has to be like, you gotta be straight with us. Tell us what you know. Or like, we're gonna throw you in the ocean. Like, before she's like, yeah, I kind of know about primordials. Well, that would have been fucking nice to know earlier.
Yeah. This is funny. So, like, she's apologizing, and the butler's just like, excuse me? Did you just apologize to me?
Yeah. Well, because remember, she was a bitch.
I know.
She had a lot of development from the time he was missing.
It was just like, that's right. We didn't like her at first.
Yeah. She was a meanie weenie.
That's the funny thing about how's it pronounced? Sundar? Pronunciation's overrated.
Yeah.
The Sundar character, Sundari, whatever, is they start out and you're just like, there's no way I'm gonna like this bitch. And then you get to the point where you're just like, they're fantastic,
yeah.
that you forget that
you
like,
didn't like
oh
them.
yeah, there was a time when I didn't like you.
I think that the example of that really struck home and like stuck with me the most was actually a book, and it's called Under the Whispering Door. I'm pretty sure I've talked about it before.
That sounds familiar, yeah.
But it's by TJ Klune. So good. Everyone should read it.
Okay.
It's so well written, and that's like, I think it hit home a little bit more because the main character is a guy, and we usually see that type of character as a female.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, you can't stand her in the beginning, and then she like, you know, grows on you. Whereas this guy was just a terrible, terrible person. And then he's put into a situation where he has to grow, or else he is going to be put into a situation he does not want to be in. And there is no choice. He has no choice. It's either
do or die.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
he's already dead.
Oh.
This is all like taking place in the afterlife.
How was I supposed to know that? A little twist.
But it's like do or die for the dead. So it's like he has no choice. There's no choice. He tries to run away from it, and it gets worse. Like, so he's forced to confront all the terrible things that he's done and grow from that. And it was just like, by the end,
That's nice.
I was sobbing by
Sobbing,
the end,
uh-huh.
like whenever it was time and he's like made peace with himself, and I'm just like, oh, like it was so good, so good. I did make the mistake of reading that like a month after my mom died, though, so I was like,
Oh,
Yeah.
that book.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, what now? We were doing better.
I'm just reading a book.
There, little gumdrop. There.
I'm pretty sure it was that day that you like, I was just a wreck, and so many like emotions. I was angry, and anyone who's lost a parent kind of like knows that feeling of just like, it's a very specific type of feeling. It's a big mix of emotions.
Yeah.
And you were like, I'll put on a happy song and make it better. And I was like, that made it so much worse.
Yeah. I remember I put on Always Look on the Bright Side of Life.
I was
And
like, turn it off.
No, you shut that shit down. You said, please don't. I don't want to hear that. I said, okay.
Yeah.
And then when you compose yourself, you explain and just like, nah, fam.
That makes me feel worse.
That makes me feel worse. And I was just like, okay.
I need to listen to music that's in the like current state of mind that I'm in, because then I like almost have an out of body experience to see how ridiculous I'm being.
Okay.
So like if I'm angry and I'm listening to angry music and there's like a lyric and I'm like, that resonates, that hits so hard, and then I'm like, God, that's so fucking stupid. Why am I so mad? And then I'm like, okay, I'm better now.
Okay. I was just being dumb boyfriend and be like, this cheers me up, this will cheer her up.
Yeah.
It's not working.
I'm like, my mom just died. Always look on the bright side.
Don't grumble, give a whistle. Eric Idle's like, you dumb son of a bitch. Not supposed to play Life of Brian due to someone's death. See, it's the end of the film. Cheer up, you old bugger. Who wrote this rubbish? Always look on the bright side of death. Just before you draw your terminal breath. I used to have a playlist of pick-uppers just because I had a moment in my life where I was just down in the dumps.
Yeah.
And like that was one of them. There was Don't Worry.
Yeah.
Be happy. A doop a doop.
I like, that is just fascinating to me, because if I was like, I need to be validated to feel better.
Uh-huh.
So it's like, if I'm upset and then I listen to like Don't Worry, Be Happy, I'm like, why can't I be happy? Why am I so upset? Like, this is silly, I'm silly, I don't deserve to be happy. Like, I have to be validated by having something that's so ridiculous.
Okay.
And the same, like, line of where I'm at to be like, wow, you're being a little bit dramatic, aren't you? Like,
Paint it black. Paint it black? Why the fuck would I paint it black?
yeah.
I was just thinking of a song right off the top of my head.
Well, it's like, I think one of the big ones that, like, I listened to in college.
Oh, come on. I don't deal with rude people. What the fuck did I do?
But one of the big ones that I listened to in college was The End by Blue October.
Okay.
And it's like, I don't know if you've ever listened to Blue October, but...
I know melodies and
Okay.
I don't know
It was
song
like
titles.
from when he was in like a really dark time in his life, and like the song is about finding his wife, like I'm pretty sure it's like finding his wife cheating on him, and he kills them and then he kills himself, like in the song.
Uh-huh.
And I'm just like, so every time I'm like, God, I just hate everyone, and I play that song and I'm like, all I saw was black, and I'm like, wow, you're being a bit of a bitch, aren't you? And I'm like, yeah, I guess it is real cheesy. I'm not that mad. And then I feel better.
Okay.
Like, genuinely feel better. Because it's kind of like, wow, at least my life's not that bad.
Okay.
Like,
It's the I'm gonna watch the news kind of mentality, to where it's just like, I'm depressed, but I'm not that poor little fucker.
it's like the reason why I watch so much true crime. Because it's like, wow, I'm mad and don't like my job, but at least I'm not that mad and hate my job that much. Like,
See, I thought it
you know.
was dropping hints like, you keep fucking up and then it's gonna be you in the shoebox.
No, no.
I'm just like, ooh.
Plus, I just think, like, the human brain is fascinating. Like, there are so many instances, especially of, like, couples, not necessarily married couples.
I'm just kidding. I'm not afraid of my spouse. If it ever comes to that point, I'm just like, deuces.
Blink twice if you feel safe.
Tap the microphone.
But it's like, how many instances where it's like, they could just divorce or they could break up.
Like
And
the
life
one
would be
that on the
fine.
wedding day where she stabs him.
Yeah.
And then the pastor comes around the corner
And it's just like, the fuck?
huh?
Like, you
She's
could
in
have
jail.
just said no.
She's in jail. He's in prison.
Like,
No, wait. He's dead. She's in prison. There we go.
yeah. Like, it would be so simple to just be like, I don't want to be with you anymore. But instead they choose murder.
Yep.
And I'm like, why? What happened here? Like,
Well, with a lot of these, like, I might be projecting a bit here, but, like, they seem like very narcissistic.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's just like, I had the perfect marriage.
that's-
And then one day didn't go
Yeah.
perfectly, and I resorted to killing them.
yeah. Well, and that's a part of the psychology of it. Why it's so interesting to me is because it is, like, you do see it through the eyes of narcissism. Like, for them, why go through all the money and the paperwork to get everything done if you're married to get a divorce and try to split everything and go through that hassle when you could just kill them?
Yeah.
There's no way I'd get caught. You know, and it's like they're so sloppy about it. And it's just like, I don't know, I think it's just really, really fascinating to, like, to watch and figure out, like, what the fuck is wrong with these people?
But it's like, I knew early on, it's just like we were going to have some, like, toughful days. Days where it's just like where there's some friction between us.
Yeah.
Murder does not come to my
No,
mind.
no. And
What
again,
comes to my
like,
mind is leave the room, leave
Yeah.
the situation.
And again, that's why, like, it was
Decompress.
very important to me that, like, when we moved in together, especially because it was, you know, the pandemic, you know, we had curfews and lockdowns and, like, certain days we weren't allowed to leave the house and, you know, all that jazz, that we each had a space that was for us.
Yep.
So it's like, if I'm just getting on your nerves with my existence, there's just, like, you just look at
Way
me and you're
you
just like,
phrase that.
like,
I
you're
know
just like,
what you
ugh,
mean.
like,
I know
that you
what you
can, that you can walk into the game room and close the door. And I will know that you just don't want me around right now. And I'm not going to annoy you about it. It's the
Right.
same if I, like, if I'm like, hey, I'm going to the basement and I'm, like, tinkering down there. Or if I go upstairs into the studio and I'm just tinkering and I close the door and I don't invite you with me. It's
Yeah.
like, that's my me time, you know? So it was very important to me that we had space that was a safe space for each of us.
Yeah, there was a
that-
video we saw where it was just like, my husband loves games, I love books. It's so easy because it's just like, hey, I want to just play games by myself. It's like, say less.
Yeah.
I got some books
I'm
to
gonna go
burn.
read. Like,
I'm gonna go read. No, I can't recommend it enough. Book reading wife, game loving
Yeah.
husband, or vice versa.
yeah.
Or just as a couple, if like one likes games, one likes to read.
And here's
It's
the
awesome.
thing,
You
even
have
if
your
you're just like,
me
I
time.
just miss, like, your presence, you can do both at the same time.
That is correct.
He'll just pop headphones on and play his game, and I'll sit next to him and read my book.
That's right.
But yeah, I think a lot of the things that I watch are just people not seeing the signs that the person they're with, like, there's something wrong with them.
Yeah.
But it's also when, like,
Because, like, I do the typical husband thing of just like, what should have she watching? Stupid. Oh, there's another one. Well, I might as well sit on this. I'm going to go get something you want. Yeah, here, grab me a snack while you're at it. I'll let you know.
I'm just gonna press the next episode.
I'll let you know what happens.
that-
Oh, this dumb bitch. Can you believe she did that?
That was when we were watching Deadly Women.
Yes.
Because I was just like, there's just something so fascinating about it. And I'm like, the reactions and the,
Well, like, it went
like,
from...
the acting was so funny to
Oh,
me.
my God.
It was so funny. And it's like,
The
yeah.
narrator was just like
Oh, my
squeezing the
God.
juice out of every line of that script.
Yeah.
And the actors were just
So
so
cheesy.
over the top.
But it was just so good. It was so good.
It started with you watching me being like, oh, okay, and you're just like, it's just funny, and I'm just like, your friend comes over, and you're talking with the friend, and I'm gathering the whole
And you're like, hey,
episode,
can
and
you
I'm
guys
just
be
like,
quiet? I'm
no,
trying
no,
to watch
no,
this.
No. I watched the whole thing, and then after, when there was like a pause, I turned and basically told you what just went down. I was like, so you need to go back and watch that, because some shit just went down. This alcoholic just murdered her neighbor with a fucking crucifix cross.
Yep.
And then violated her
With
on
the
Christmas
crucifix.
Eve.
Yeah. Oh my god. It was wild.
So yeah, I'm never too proud to be like, oh, I ain't watching that shit. Sometimes I just hear it and I'm just like, I'm not into that. But for the most part, I'm just like, I'll sit down for an episode or 12.
Yeah. Well, because that also happened with, like, I was watching...
And then I get mad, but I don't know what to play about myself. I had things I wanted to do today, and I just sat down and watched her.
I watched 12 hours worth of tattoo shows. Well, I think another big one was, like, the Halloween Wars.
It's been a while since you did a creature collection. I know! Shut up!
You scowl as you press next episode.
Yup.
Yep.
Yeah, Halloween Wars. That was another one.
God, that one was so fun, though. Because they had to make, like, horror sets out of, like, giant pumpkins and baked goods.
I'd be down for a Isle of Siren cake.
That would
Like
be
little primordials and
hard
shit
as
like
fuck.
that. That would be.
Oh my god. Okay, so because we're talking about cake, I'm going to circle back to this.
Go for
but
it.
I need to know if you know certain information.
About cake? Not really.
No,
Not much
before
of a baker.
before the cake. So have you heard about what's going on with Kate Middleton?
The cake was a lie. Oh, Kate Middleton.
The Princess of Wales. She married Prince William.
All right.
So it's like
what's,
Kate and William.
Yeah. Well, what's new? Because I'm on and off with that.
Okay. So there have been like... To me, it sounds so stupid, but I'm like, well, I mean, Diana, so... But there was speculation that Kate is dead, and they replaced her with a body double.
What?
Okay, so people are like, is it Kate? Is it Kate? And then, like, there was an incident where, trying to prove that Kate is alive, they posted a photo that was very obviously photoshopped. Like, really, like it looks like I did it.
Okay.
Like, no skill sets, you know. And, so there's speculation now of, like, is Kate alive? Is she dead? Did they kill her? Or, like, you know, so all of these things swirling around, and I saw a meme that was like, what if Kate Middleton, like, just went out on the balcony of Buckingham Palace to announce that she was alive, but one of the guards cut her with a knife and she was just Cake Middleton? The mystery continues.
Indeed. Look at this thing. It looks like something off of Godzilla. Looks very kaiju-esque.
It does.
The Valkyra. Alright, so this is what I need to hunt for Euron. Nasty little beastie.
I know this is pre-recorded, but you should have used Sahad because it's a crustacean.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. Well, look forward to the Yeez 9 playthrough where every bit of advice I get to choose.
I know! During that moment.
I can't be like, oh, this is pre-recorded. It'll just be like, no, I'm just not going to listen to her.
Yeah.
That piece of advice.
You know.
Or
oh my
forget or feign ignorance or be like, what'd you say?
So, I heard a joke this morning and I laughed pretty hard. What's the difference between a dirty bus station and a lobster with breast implants?
I don't know.
One of them is a crusty bus station, the other one is a busty crustacean.
Oh my god. I was just like, how was I supposed to guess that?
I cackled.
That you did. Oh boy, oh boy. Welcome to Popcorn, folks. Welcome to Popcorn. And those are the moments where on stream I'd be like, well, we went from 6 to 2 viewers. Ah, well. But who knows? Some
Like,
people might
listen,
share
I
our
try.
some people might share our absurd humor, ridiculous love of puns and
Oh my god.
play on words.
It just dawned on me.
It just dawned on you.
Just dawned on me. What do you gain from this?
What?
You know what? I really don't have any comment.
We talking about the game, or are we talking about?
The video that I showed you, where the guy pours like Dawn dish liquid on his face, and he goes, "It just dawned on me."
Okay, it just dawned on me. I got it. Okay.
And the other guy holds up the laundry soap, and he was like, "What do you gain
What
from
do you gain
this?"
from this? Dad jokes, really?
You know, this is why I only pop on here once in a blue moon. Drinks the
Yeah.
blue moon beer.
I can't really comment on this.
It's the laugh afterwards that gets me
Mm-hmm.
every time.
Well, like usually
Yeah,
it's to like definitely the dad wheeze.
yeah,
You've heard it. I can't do it because I'm not a dad.
I do it.
No,
I'm a dad at
you
heart.
do the I'm gonna choke on my own lung wheeze. There's the
Where I push all the air out of my
Yep,
body.
all the air just fires out. If you want to see an example specifically, it's in one of the early parts of I Am Setsuna, where Eternia just goes, "Why now?" and you lose it. Like all the air just exits stage right.
Yep.
And I'm just like, alrighty then.
I can't help myself.
I love you and nobody else. Dun, 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 in and out my life. We got some zombie fish here. Zombie skeletal fish, and
Full circle.
it doesn't dawn. Yeah, really.
It doesn't dawn on her.
Yeah, it doesn't dawn on me that I can't kill them. They're the same as the skeletons, and I'm just like, God, there's so many of them. Then I look at the map and I'm like, no, there's 4 of them. All right. But I keep killing them and they just keep on coming back. Oh, there goes Donna. I guess it dawned on her that this is the end.
Aww.
Oh, Donna. But yeah, it's just floating there and I'm just like, oh, they come back. Toodles!
Okay, bye.
Gotta get out of here. Oh, shit. What's this?
It looks like a ramp.
What does this button do?
And I was like, shit, I didn't bring my bicycle.
Pull the lever, Crunk.
Wrong lever!
Why do we even have that lever?
Alright, so we'll come back here later when we can kill the... Oh, never mind. New location. We'll do it now. The Soundless Hall.
Oof. Look at
This
that
is the moment where
sparkling
Sahad
treasure.
goes... Did you hear that? I'm watching a playthrough and like they're like... I know where Laxia's going, but I don't like Sahad. And they just do not like bodily humor. Like, they don't like farts and burps and stuff like that. And they're just like, ugh. I'm not even going to acknowledge that. And I'm like, I understand, but for me, it's
I think
the
it's
fact
just
that
cheeky.
he's unapologetically himself.
Yeah.
And very much carries that dad energy of being like, I'm old, what do I give a shit about?
Yeah.
That, like, makes it work. But I could understand how it's just like, when you really think about it, that there is a lot of like farts and taking a dump.
I feel like he only farts like once or twice.
It's a couple times and it's sporadic.
I know he like talks about.
Keep in mind, we started this playthrough months ago.
Yeah.
So it's hard to keep track of like all the gases. But yeah, he's a gassy fella. Maybe he has IBS.
I bet those people are the same people that read smut books because sex is a part of life.
Maybe. Who knows? Let's not assume things.
It makes me angry.
No, it makes an ass out of you and me. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Oh my god. We got all the big monsters coming out of here. Coming out of the woodworks. Everything's huge and deadly in this little marshland. We got the fish dinosaurs. We got the giant kaiju-looking crabs. We got mosquitoes that definitely carry the West Nile virus.
Oh yeah.
And then we got these fucking rhino things that'll be showing up shortly. I hate them. Because they do this lovely thing where they'll smack you on the ground, and Adol just lays there for a while. And then they'll trample on you some more. I'm just like, boy, I'd sure love to get up. Boy, howdy, I'd sure love to get up from that shock. Because this is fair. Oh, there we go. Killed that one.
He's just dazed.
Damn it. Dazed and confused. And another!
Eat him. Eat him.
They like...
I know.
Before they charge.
Charge!
So yesterday, before I went into work, I had to like give myself a little pep talk in the car. And I had my eyes closed.
Only yesterday?
Well, I do this regularly.
Oh, there we go.
But yesterday specifically, because I was going in at the same time that one of my coworkers was going in, and she thought I fell asleep in the car. And she was like, I was going to call you at like 5 minutes to punch in to wake you up. And I was like, no, I was just giving myself a pep talk. She was like, oh, okay.
Don't kill anyone. Don't kill anyone. Don't kill anyone. Don't stab them. Don't throw anything. Just don't kill anyone. Okay, we're ready.
Yeah. Well, for me, it's mainly like,
If I open my
it's
eyes,
a
is it
job.
on fire? No. Fuck.
Yeah. Well, it's mainly like it's a job. Like, don't take it too seriously. Just go in, do your job, enjoy your coworkers, and just leave it here when you come home. Because I'm just trying to take it less seriously, because I feel like that's where a lot of my stress comes from, is like just taking my job way too seriously. In the sense of like, I have to do this, or I have to be this way, or like, what can I improve upon? But it's all the time. So I've been giving myself little pep talks of like, you know what? If you have a mean customer, you know, that's your only interaction with them. Like, they can go. Get what I can get done at work, and then I go home, and it's time to be at home.
Yep. Very good. Very good.
So I pep talk myself.
Hey, there it is. Hey, Rhino.
Oh,
Yep.
look at his little tail. How bad would that hurt if he like backed into you with that little tail?
Broom, broom, broom. Oh, look.
Yep. He
I've just been
stomped you.
impaled. Oh, look at that. I've been impaled.
So our dog Taters, she was a Great Dane Mastiff. Whenever we adopted her, her previous owner had cropped her tail, but he did it wrong, so it was very, very small.
Ooh.
And we called it the nubby, like, oh, wag the nubby, because it would just go so fast. But she would like,
You just wagged the nubby.
but she would like back into you with her nubby poking out, and like we had so many bruises
Oh, is she jousting?
from just her like backing into you with her nubby. I'm not for like cropping animals'
I think
appendages.
it's stuck in the corner.
Like, I feel bad.
Yeah, I know. It's like a doll that just,
I
it's
know,
like Wesker
like,
when he just like
aw.
stares blankly at the wall.
Just like,
And
buddy.
he just leans his head against. And I'm just like, puppers. Come on now. Old man.
But we were quite thankful in the end that Taters didn't have a tail, because we would have had broken bones from her tail.
From all that wagging.
Yeah. She was a beast.
Oof. Yeah, we don't need that. Did that dog just bust my kneecaps?
I mean, her butt was at hip length. She'd take out a hip. They're one of my favorite visitors for where I work is a dog named Tank, and he's a cane corso.
Oh. Okay.
And he has to wear like an 80-pound weight vest
Wow.
because he gets so excited and like wants people to love him that he'll just start running towards them. And like, he's a big boy.
Yeah.
So like, people will get scared, so she has to weigh him down.
Aww.
He's my favorite. Every time he comes in, I'm like, oh my god! I'm just like on the floor loving this dog.
Aww. There we go. Grab those vines.
He came in yesterday and he was all mopey. And like he just like laid on the floor, and I was like, "What's up with Tank?" And she goes, "We just came back from Home Goods, and no one said hi to him, and he's very sad."
Aww.
And I was like, "Oh my God, Tank, let me get you a treat right now."
I love this visual coming up. I don't even know what the hell this is.
It's a giant mushroom.
No. So, like, it's a sky garden, and, like, right at the top is a pool.
I need it.
I'm just like, did nothing like this, I think it actually exists, or did it ever exist? But it's just a brilliant idea. It's like a huge tree, and at the top is like this huge pool of water. And you can go here and fish.
There are so many things that I just need all of our neighbors to move out and for them to tear all their houses down so I can buy all the property. Because there are just so many things that I need.
Spoken like a true white woman.
Facts!
I just need everyone moved out so I can grow my crops. Fuck the public.
It's a mixture of crops and also, like, I was watching baby goat videos and I need one. So I did wake up in, like, a little bit of a panic.
Oh no.
Because I had a very realistic dream that I went to Tractor Supply to get cattle fencing for my garden, because that is something that I have planned when I get the boxes up.
Right.
Is to use cattle fencing to grow, like, my vine crops.
Mm-hmm.
It saves space to grow vertically, so that's what I want to do. And in this dream, everything was super realistic. I had my truck. I was super excited because I got to, like, buy farm equipment and use my truck for what I intended to use it for. But I had a dream that I came home with chickens and I didn't tell you. And I was trying to hide the chickens from you.
Those are called a nightmare.
But it was, like, funny in the dream because it would be like I would be in the office, like, playing with the chicks, and you would, like, come up and I just would, like, you know that video where the lady, like, throws the hamster?
Yes.
It would be like that, where I would just be like, ah, and I would just, like, throw the chick somewhere. And, but the chick was in on it. The chick knew, like, hey, that dude's not allowed to know I'm here. And it would, like, be quiet. So when I woke up, I was like, oh my God, where's the chick? Did he find it? And I was like, I didn't buy a chick. I did not get a chicken. I want a chicken, but I did not get a chicken. And then I was like, I'm off today. I'm going to go to Tractor Supply.
Oh, God. Oh, my God. No. Not today of all days. I come home and I'm just like, what a day.
And you're just tired, and I'm like, hey, so I did a thing.
Like, no. I'd be like, Luna, dispose of it.
Do you feel clucky?
All of a sudden it stops peeping and Luna's just like, I got you, Dad.
I feel like Luna would be afraid of it.
Ooh, Bubbies would be afraid of it.
I feel
Luna
like Bub
would
would
be like-
just accept it like... Wesker would step on it.
Let's go and step on it. Poor Pops.
And Luna would probably stalk it for weeks before accepting it as her own.
Okay, alright. Really got this all planned out, don't you? Well now.
Don't joke, I was trying to figure out how to, like, set up netting to protect chickens from the hawks so that they could free range.
Yeah, you should definitely consider the hawks around here.
Yeah.
Or they'll be like, ooh, Easter's coming. I'll grab some peeps.
Oh my God,
They're just like little marshmallows.
There was a video of this kitten sitting on, like, the dashboard inside a car, and this red-tailed hawk swoops down to try and grab it, and you can see the confusion on this bird because it's on the outside of the car.
Oh.
So it, like, can't get it because of the glass, and you can see it looking at the little cat, looking at the person, and then, like, clicking on the windshield because he can't grab it.
Oh, yeah, that's the video where the cat's on the dashboard.
Yeah, and then the hawk is like, you see this shit? Like...
Just like, how in the hell?
But the cat's whole personality is like, nah, 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 nah.
Of course. They're very cocky when they know they're safe.
Yeah.
Ha-ha! I fooled you. I fooled you, Mr. Hawk.
But then he showed a cucumber and it breaks everything in the general vicinity.
Is that true? Have you tried the cucumber thing with the cats?
So, the thing with the cucumber is it startles them because they think it's a snake.
I've heard that.
Whereas my cats have never encountered a snake, so they don't give a shit.
Okay.
Whereas, like, if you let your cat outside, or if it has been in a situation where it needs to defend itself, it scares them.
Okay.
My cats have never done that.
Gotcha.
I mean, Booby lived outside for a little bit, but she did eventually come home.
Okay.
She was pregnant, but she came home.
Wasn't from the snake.
I know. And then her little cat boyfriend would stand outside in the yard and yell for her. I'm like, this is not a Romeo and Juliet situation, okay?
The night is young
know.
and yours.
I'm like, I got a pregnant freaking cat. Okay, we gotta take care of this.
Oh, hang on. All right. Joke aside,
Yeah.
this is Donna's backstory.
I agree.
Yeah.
For someone who
This
seems
is very
reserved,
sad.
Donna,
So we
you
shall
often
shut
take
up.
rather bold courses of action.
So you're saying she's reckless?
Hummel. It's okay. Olga used to say that about me too, but I wasn't always like this.
Really?
Yes, when I still lived with my family, when my mother was still alive.
Do you understand, my darling Donna? Then I want you to promise me something. Promise me that you will never take off that ring. It's for your own good.
Ever since I was a little girl, I've had the power to see visions of the future. But not every future I saw was a happy one. To be honest, I wish I'd never seen most of the visions that have come to me. Many of them were scenes of pain and suffering. When I was still little, I became withdrawn and depressed from all that I had seen.
Baby Donna.
My mother could tell something was wrong, so she tried to help me by giving me a ring. This ring blocked my connection to Essence, which sealed my power to see visions.
Listen carefully, Donna. The world is a happy place, but sometimes it brings hardship for what feels like no reason. Most people don't want to accept the bad things, so they look away and pretend they can't see them. They do that because their hearts are delicate, and that's not always a bad thing. But you're such a caring child that I know how hard it will be for you to look away. This ring will help you live your life like everyone else. No matter where you go, make sure you always wear it.
After I received that ring, I was finally able to have a normal childhood, just like the other kids. I never felt safer than I did surrounded by my parents' warm, unshakable love than one day.
Mommy! Mommy!
A fire broke out in the shed while my father and I were away, and took my dear mother's life. Had I not sealed my powers, I would have foreseen the accident. I would have heard my mother's voice crying for help. I felt remorse for sealing my power for the sake of protecting myself. From that day on, I vowed to prevent as much suffering and sadness as I could, to never turn a blind eye toward it. Father, I've decided the houses visited by the messenger are said to receive blessings afterward, right? And if I do become the maiden of the great tree, I'll be able to help a lot of people. I want to do this to honor Mom. How awful, Donna. Since then, I've always felt like I would fade away if I didn't prevent enough suffering. I would get so scared that I would just act without thinking sometimes. And then I'd just cause more problems for Olga.
I love the little smile.
Poor Olga.
We just have more problems for Olga. Smiles.
I don't know what to say, really.
It's all in the past now. Anyway, sometime tomorrow we'll be searching the tomb. We should all get some rest.
Well, that was heavy.
I've never related to Donna so much when I'm just like, let me give you my tragic backstory and be like, okay, everyone get some rest. See you in the morning.
That's this commentary sometimes.
That hill spot reminds me of my mother, who's dead, by the way. Allow me to tell you this.
Let me tell you this heart-wrenching story.
Well, if you have more stories, they'll have to wait because we're about to enter the Valley of the Kings in the next episode. This is a confusing but very cool level.
Yeah.
I like the music, I like the aesthetic, but if you don't know what you're doing, you can be here for a while.
I was.
I was too for a moment. I was just like, what the? Oh, okay. Because there's a little gimmick, and we'll figure it out in the next episode.
Doodle.